Welcome to Survival Awareness, Part 3 of this 12-part Wisdom series. These teaching programs are made possible by Your Own World Books, publishers of the Colburn Bible and God's Child Covenant by Marshall Masters. Please feel free to share complete and unedited copies of these programs with others. For more information, visit virtualserenity.com.
We all share a desire to be part of something greater than ourselves, and often employ symbols to bind our connections to one another. The most obvious symbols we use are flags, such as the flags of our peoples, nations, and all they represent. When we salute a flag, that very act of recognition connects us to others who likewise value the same flag. In this common thread of awareness, we find brotherhood and sisterhood with those who share our values and beliefs. Yet when we salute a flag, we actually see a symbol that is separate and apart from us. The connection we feel is elsewhere than the symbol, even though it is a repository of our connectedness. But what about the flag itself? Infused with so many connections, what would it feel like to be connected, yet separated by distance from all those sensing a connection through you to others? Now imagine that you are not saluting that flag, but rather you're a thread of life within it, one that senses the environment about you and all of the emotions connected to and through you directly. With each puff of wind comes the added sensation of a common movement and a shared spirit within the body of the flag itself. It is in this sense that we can be connected to our world through awareness. Not to be apart from it as we are with our symbols, but to see ourselves as being a single thread of life within it, touched by all the elements of nature about us and the feelings of all those connected to us. Once you become aware enough to see yourself as a living thread within the flag of our world and our species, you will then have a connection to the awareness of those who have endured past global cataclysms. They now salute us through their teachings, and we shall return their salute by carrying the flag of our world through the next global cataclysm. This is why this first teaching of the Elohim about awareness is the most important of all.
We will begin with what we think is the first and foremost important message that we can be giving you, which is awareness. We understand that this term has been used quite frequently and quite often, much like the terms that get overused, such as metaphysical, New Age, etc. But awareness is more than just the statement of becoming aware of your surroundings. It's becoming aware of self. It's becoming aware of who you are. This is going to be very important in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead. For being aware is more about vibrating with the natural energies that we are all made of, that you are all made of. Which means we must take that responsibility, a key word here. I see many of you shirking from that word, responsibility. But it does not mean that it has to have a negative connotation to it. It simply means taking the step to find out who you are. What makes you tick? You know, we do not look at you as broken. However, we look at you as works in progress. And in the grand scheme of things, where you are at on your line of growth, we can all become better than we are. So this is not about judgment of where you're at, only taking the responsibility that there's more to do for self than what you've done up to this point. There are many of you out there who are already among your path, and for that we commend you. However, we would tell you is to continue to take it a step further. Push your own envelope. Take the responsibility. Seek out others that may be able to help open doors and windows within the soul, the spirit of who you are, to bring to you that awareness. Many of you out there feel as if you have grown to a point where you're comfortable where you're at. You have the knowledge of the changes coming forward. You speak and communicate with your own guides very well. There's still more to be done. There's still more to raise your level of awareness, to let go of those things that no longer serve you in this reality. We are being very, very adamant that this is the first step in this process. The awareness. You know, there are help out there. There's assistance out there. And I hear many of you saying, well, I'm fine. I have all the knowledge that I need. Well, not yet, because you haven't brought it into awareness. The awareness of how intricate we are all connected has not hit many of you yet. The awareness that joy and bliss and happiness can be yours on a day-to-day basis. Because raising the awareness also raises your vibration. When your own vibration is raising, there will be others who will be attracted to you because of the feeling of that vibrational level that is in you and around you. So we must say to you, get more into awareness.
Awareness is a heavy burden, so when we first become aware of what is to be, we question our own judgment, as it is unwise to be hasty about dark prospects. In the fullness of time, we gather enough evidence to know that our awareness is not a delusion or some passing fright, but rather that it is a true and sobering awakening to a dark future. One we will survive, though it will take many of us in the process. Then, in the second heartbeat of this dreadful realization, we are overpowered by our commitments to those we love. Our first impulse is to share the warning as one would shout fire in a burning building. But this building is not burning quite yet. Not even the smoke from this future fire has fully evidenced itself. So to shout fire when others cannot accept even the faintest smell is to invite trouble upon ourselves. With a dark certainty of this magnitude, we each must see or smell the smoke for ourselves before we're willing to pay serious heed to the warnings of others. This is why awareness is a personal experience, and so each of us comes to it in our own unique way. Until everyone sees or smells the danger of fire, you must work quietly to protect them through self-sacrifice. Rather than force a message upon them that they are not prepared to hear, go quietly about them to make sure the exits are free and open, so when the time comes, there is nothing to hinder their escape. Yes, this is a lonely responsibility, but you must be wise enough to understand that standing in your knowing is only meaningful when you are willing to stand alone. In the times ahead, it will be easier to find those of a like mind, who, like you, are aware and willing to stand in their knowing alone. Seek them out if you cannot bear the loneliness, for it is not required that you stand alone in your knowing. In the next teaching, the Elohim will explain the importance of preparedness.
These teaching programs are made possible by Your Own World Books, publishers of the Colburn Bible and God's Child Covenant by Marshall Masters. The Colburn Bible is a two-part wisdom text. This secular anthology offers the wisdom of hundreds of ancient authors, and the many harbinger signs of their prophecies are now converging on 2012. God's Child Covenant is a romantic action drama set against a global tribulation. It offers a realistic yet hopeful vision for the future, because 2012 will be less about what is in your bunker and more about what is in your heart. A printed transcript of this entire teaching series is available. For more information, visit virtualserenity.com.